Okay, so you have The Biggest Loser trying to give you advice, and you have People Magazine trying to give you advice, with their both of their phony experts and all that money that they pour into or supposedly pour into helping people. Um, Let me tell you how you fix this. And it's very simple and it's been around forever. Okay. Body fat testing. Okay. When you just use height and weight or BMI tables or just the scale or something like that, you can't take an account for all the differences that people have in their body structures, how much muscle they have, you know, and things like that. So when you start to test body fat, you can easily say, or like in this case, because there was this Rachel girl, and there was the other, gosh, I can't remember his name. He was one of the Polynesian Tongan dudes. He was Tongan or Fijian. Anyway, the guy who ended up getting married to the girl at the end, and he was, anyway, he got down to the end, or when they get down to a certain point, you measure their body fat. And what you would do is you would give them extra points. You would give them points for lowering their body fat, and then you would give them extra points if their lean body mass goes up, which means all this work that they're doing, their body can recover from it. Okay. But at the same time, you could penalize them for their body fat their lean body mass going down. So it would work against them, and it would encourage, because you have a lot of these 300 and 400 pound people, they're living on 1,500 calories a day, but they're working out, 6+ hours a day, or at least multiple times a day on that such a small intake with those big bodies. You can encourage them to say, okay, well, instead of really trying to cut this calorie intake too low, why don't I, instead of cutting down to 1,500, and I'm 300 pounds, why don't I just first start at 2,500 so that they hold on to that lean body mass, so they don't get penalized for it. And that would start to change the behaviors, and that also let the public know that, hey, you know what, if you're 15% body fat and you're 150 pounds, you can look just as good and be phenomenal and be just as healthy as that lady who's 120 pounds, 115 pounds, and you might even look better because you're leaner, and they can see their body, and you'll be able to see that with the way that their body is built there. And so I'll play a little thing with the body fat and the math in just a bit. I'll show you that there, and how it kind of relates to The Biggest Loser, and through that I'll explain why I think that was bad. Okay, so here's a side-by-side comparison of the Frederickson girl. This was, the left side is the before, of course, and that was her when she started. So she started at 260 pounds, and her body fat percentage, I'm estimating, okay, and that 50 could be generous, but I'm going to use 50 so it makes this math nice and easy here, okay? And so at 50% body fat, that means that 130 pounds of her weight, her 260 pounds, is fat, and 130 pounds is muscle, bone, all that. You get it. Okay, the healthy stuff. Okay, so you get down to the end, and her weight is 105 pounds. Now, if you're not catching this, her weight is lower than her lean body mass, by 25 pounds. Okay, so if she was at 0% body fat, which we know she wasn't, she had to eat at least 25 pounds of muscle. Okay, but no, she ate more than 35 pounds of muscle. Okay, 35 and a half to be exact. Okay, so not only is it showing that whatever she's doing, her body can't keep up with, is too much for her body to handle. She's, probably wrecked her metabolism. Also with your muscle, as well as the ability to perform daily tasks, with strength and performance and things like that. There's things like your body is better able to regulate its blood sugar. Like you can take up carbs without having to produce insulin. So that helps your cause there. Okay, if you get into if you ever come into a situation where you pick up a wasting disease, Yeah, one of your largest predictors is your lean body mass, your muscle. Okay, so your body has to be tearing itself down and destroying its immune system for you to break down your own muscle like that she's doing. Okay, at that rate of 35 pounds. So if it was like I was talking about before, she would be penalized. She would be penalized and it would start to work against her. So it would encourage the contestants to go for more healthier means of losing weight. And then you could take this and educate the public, a little bit more about safer ways to lose weight and things to think about when you lose weight. But of course, it's all about money. And those guys didn't think about that when they're trying to educate the public. Okay, so the other thing I wanted you to note is with those body fat percentages of 50 in the beginning and 10 at the end, if those numbers are off, if she's like, say, if she's like 15% body fat in the end instead of 10, then that makes it worse because she would have lost more muscle to, she would have lost more muscle because she would be carrying more pounds of fat at that 105 pounds. Okay. And if it was lower than 50%, more than likely, it makes it worse again because that would be saying that a larger percentage of her weight was lean body mass. So it would be more than 130 pounds, maybe 140, 150, whatever, cut down to 94 pounds of lean body mass. So that's something to think about when you analyze these final numbers. Okay, so what I did to try to help you understand how to set goals with using your body fat instead of using the BMI is I took a profile of a client that I used to train here, and she started at 175 pounds with 32% body fat. So that means she was carrying 56 pounds of fat and 119 pounds of lean body mass. So basically, if she wanted to weigh 115 pounds, that was out of the question because her lean body mass was already more than her goal weight, and losing lean body mass is not a good thing. So the original goal we set was to get her down to around 142 and 16% body fat. So that would give her 33 pounds of body fat loss while keeping all of her lean body mass. But it doesn't always work out perfectly like this mathematically all the time. Like in this case, her lean body mass had went up at first. So that's why I posted the actual, because her goal had changed in the middle of the process. When she got down to around 15, she said, "Hey, I want it all. I want to see my abs," and we wound up taking it and getting her down to 10% body fat. One thing that I have to mention is in the middle of the process, or towards the end of the process, right at around 13%, we had noticed that we had lost a little bit of lean body mass. So we had to talk. I was like, "Hey, you need to, you're losing some lean body mass." And she was like, "Well, I lost 4 pounds of fat for that 1 pound of lean body mass that I lost." So at that point, it was okay, and we just proceeded to go get her down to 10% body fat. But what will notice is the lean body mass is higher than what it started because she made the switch of being a hard working out person from being sedentary. So she gained muscle, and you know that shows in the body fat there. Okay, so I'm including a chart of body fat examples of what each percentage of body fat looks like. And the reason for this is I didn't want people to just throw numbers out there. I wanted them to understand that, okay, if I wanted to be a male at 6 to 7%, to see what that looks like, so maybe they can get an understanding of the amount of work that might be involved or the amount of strictness that might be involved to get them there if they're starting from 35% body fat, or being a woman starting from 45% body fat, trying to get down to 10 to 12, which is always possible, but you just have to understand how hard or how smart you might have to work to get there. Actually, with both of these, when I look at the body fat, I would almost shift all of them down one group or one percentage of the body fat, where the male at 50, the 40 might be at 35, and the girl at 50 might be at 45. But then again, people will look different at body fat percentages based on their body structure, how they carry weight, how they carry their muscle, and how they store body fat.